I want to start by reading from you The American Crisis by Thomas Paine. It is just the first opening paragraph. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in this crisis shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us. At the heart of the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is, excuse me, it is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Britain, with the army to enforce her tyranny, has declared that she has the right not only to tax, but to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if bound in that manner, it is not slavery. Then there is not such a thing as slavery upon earth. For even the expression is impious. For so unlimited a power can belong only to God. I read that because I see so many of the Republicans on Twitter now shaking in their boots, wondering what to do since the Republican Party has shown their true colors as traitors in Benedict Arnold's and wanting to give up the fight for this election. They want to concede that Biden is the president, even though there is mountains of evidence of fraud in all these states. And now they go after the great lawyer Lynn Wood yesterday. And now these Republican voters on Twitter are like, "Oh, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go?" As Thomas Paine put it, you are like the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot. Will in this crisis shrink from the service of their country. That is the problem with the education system today. You do not read the books by those who have found this country. You do not read the books by Thomas Paine, The American Crisis. You do not get the books by John Adams and read his words. You do not get the autobiography of George Washington and read it, or the autobiography of Patrick Henry. And we can go on and on. Our grandfathers were called the greatest generation. Would slap us silly to see us whine and cry and wonder, "What do we do? What do we do?" You fight back. Imagine if the Christian American patriots of the American Revolution came back and walked the face of this earth and saw us like this. Would they have pity on us? Would they have mercy on us for trying to run away from a fight? Would they surrender like the Republican Party has yesterday when they attacked the great liars of Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell and turned their backs on probably 80 million Americans who voted for Trump and say, oh, just concede and give Biden the presidency. We'll get it back in 2024. What a spineless bunch of losers they are. The American Revolution patriots were here, and in that time period, and those Republicans walked the streets in that time period, they would be tarred and feathered and treated as traitors as they are. So, what do we do? Well, I'm promoting this idea of a Catholic Party for America for a good long while now. All of our policy platform ideas are out there on our blog, CatholicPartyForAmerica.wordpress.com. Done a good number of videos. I think, what was it, 12, 13 videos? What do we do? If you actually read our website and read our stuff, you know exactly what we plan to do. Go back to the founding fathers. Go back to the American Christian patriots who gave us this country, who fought and bled for this country. We are seeing what George Washington and his vice president, then our second president, John Adams, said about the Constitution, how they feared what would happen. We see it right now in this struggle about this election. How there's only this tiny elite group of families that actually run this country. And all have ties to those election machine people to make sure they get the election every time how they want it. That is what the founding fathers feared about the Constitution. And also, it does not honor the great Christian American patriots. And that is why in 1874, the Presbyterians held a constitutional convention. And we read from their writings of that at that convention to you how they wanted to make the Constitution more Christian, to name who we worship in the Constitution, to make America Christian again, to get it out of the hands of the Masonic lodges. But who in Congress shut that constitutional convention and their right to do so down? It is the same people who are cowering to say should concede to the election, give up. That is right. The Republican Party of 1874 did that to the Presbyterians and all Christians of these United States. So there should be no surprises, folks, of why they are acting the way they act. If they can shut down the right of the people to hold a constitutional convention of 1874, it is no wonder they are attacking when the American people are fighting back to stop this election steal. Because they are not our true friends. They are not our true allies. They do not represent the American people, the Republican Party, or the Democrat Party. That is why the founding fathers never wanted to have a multi party system. They wanted just one party. If it takes another party to restore that, then let it be us. Because we want to go back to the founding fathers. We want to put in what they wrote, to do what the Presbyterians tried in 1874, and to be able to not be shut down like they were in Congress. Yes, our ideas and goals are lofty if this party ever gets going, is to win the local, state, then federal election. So then no one can shut that down to do what the Presbyterians wanted done, what all the Christians wanted done in 1874. Because they were united, the Presbyterians, the Catholics, all of them were united back then. And that book on of their convention is well worth the read. It is very eye opening. So we need to stop with the status quo. Remember our heritage, restore our heritage. You see the photo behind me of the mass in St. Augustine, Florida. That was the real Thanksgiving Day. I believe it was a few hundred years. I think it was 100 years before the Puritans landed at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts. hmm Catholics settled on America first. And we also proved how Saint Brendan also was here from Ireland, way before anybody else, way before the Vikings. That is where the inspiration for the party comes from. And also the words of Saint Padre Pio, how the United States will be converted to the Catholic faith. And so we are just laying the groundwork. We at the Catholic Party for America also want to restore America's first Christian flag, used in 1775. In the first act of Congress, what happened in 1777? The Flag Act. They got rid of the Christian flag of America and put those five-pointed stars on the flag. We also want, you can read more about it, but I want to do this program because of what I saw yesterday. People are wondering where to go and where to turn and what party to join after what they saw yesterday. If you want to restore America back to its purpose, to the founding fathers, to honor and remember the American patriots who were Christian, who bled and died for our freedom. And there is only one party that will do it. That is the Catholic Party for America. And we want to rewrite the U.S. Constitution to make the changes that the Presbyterians and all the Christians of 1874 wanted to hand this country back to God, back to Christ, and to make sure all the laws we pass are 100% Christian. Get rid of anything that is anti Christian. And that includes outlawing abortion, making abortion illegal, outlawed, and making it and calling it and charging it for what it is, murder. And charging any person, doctor, nurse, medical worker who provides abortions or does abortions or hands out the pill or the pill that does the abortion by pill as murderers. Do what they charge them for what they are doing, killing American citizens in the womb. Fighting back against the homosexual cabal that has hurt and wrecked businesses of Christian bakers and other Christian businesses. Remember those bakers out up in was Oregon, Colorado, I think a few other places. They had to shut down their business because the homosexual cabal that pretty much runs those areas attacked and drove the Christian businesses out of business. We want to implement laws from Christian countries of Poland and Hungary, where you cause Christian persecution. That is a crime because it goes against what America is, a Christian nation. It goes against the people's rights to worship and do as they please as Christians. That includes running a Christian bakery. We also want to end the federal income tax for those who make less than $100,000 and restore states' rights where the states raise collect the taxes and everything. Then it is through the legislature of the state houses to decide when and what amount to pay the federal government. This way, we end the abuse of spending in the federal government. Um, let's see here. We also want to implement the pro-family law in Hungary. If you are a large family, or if you are intending to be a large family and want to be a stay-at-home mom and do homeschool and all that, you get you the government will pay you or let me get to the word. Let me get to the words real quick, folks. I want to get this right. Let's see what it's been a while since I wrote what I wrote. We're going to implement what the Hungary is doing for large families. I just gotta find it here. Hmm. Yeah. So that's a really good thing. It's a really good policy to help. Hmm. Okay. So if you are in Hungary and you are, you know, have a big and want to have a big family, the government will help with that. Okay, here we go. To help the families adjust to them teaching their children, and since both parents can't work jobs but must become a traditional family once again, we support and will promote what Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, is doing, paying the families who will be open to having large families, and also I am adding on to his pro family plan, homeschool their children will get a tax refund. This way, the extra income can go to helping the family, getting the proper books, proper computer for learning, etc. But it will have to be monitored so nothing illegal is happening with this extra income. You can't have families creating larger families just to get rich. No, it goes to help the children's education. So that is something we are adding on to the policy in Hungary. And also, we want to break up the big pharma medical industry swamp. The policies will be to drain the medical industry swamp. Laws will be written and passed to break up Big Pharma and all of those who charge outrageous prices on medical equipment and medicine, which then turns on the patient to force the patient to pay thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars for medicine or procedures. This will end in no more allowing the medical industry to be about getting rich, but to actually cure the patient and save lives. Doctors and nurses must be tested to make sure they are truly competent for the vocation as a doctor or a nurse. Those like Fauci, Birx, Bill Gates are truly incompetent for how they've shown themselves in using false data, and for Bill Gates, who has no medical degree, therefore cannot practice medicine. All equipments and medicines will be made in country and will be sold to hospitals at a fair price, so they do not have to charge the patient a rental or user fee. The medicine must treat the illness, not also create new illnesses or even kill. Once the doctors and nurses are retaught that their work is an apostolate of mercy and a vocation, and that drug prices are down and the medicines are safe and medical equipment prices are low, we can make sure people are taken care of at a truly non expensive cost to the patient. How many party platforms ever thought of that? Hmm. Now, I'm going to also get into, let's see here, where was it? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Let me see here. I'm looking at the deal. Excuse me for a bit. So, hmm, prices for college and higher education is just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, I thought it was high when I went into college in 2007, but oof, it went up. So the idea or way of thinking, oh, you need to go to college before we hire you or allow you into the seminary or religious order is over. No one should feel forced to go to a college and end up in debt. So we'll make sure college is affordable for everyone. And most of all, that they teach you a trade. So you can go to them, learn a bit more that you are learning at home, prepare for the real world and learning different trades or jobs. Good and proper hands on learning. We will restore the medieval apprenticeship to help you get jobs. If you want a normal college education, there will be that. So you can receive your higher education, but the prices will be much lower. And no nonprofit college will be personally taking in millions of dollars from your child or you personally, and the child ends up in debt for the rest of his or her life. Now, I'm trying to figure out in this next section how to get the prices down. Just think about it. It's like a hotel, isn't it? You go there for 4, 8, whatever years. So now, think of it as a hotel. What do you get? A bed, TV, shower, and food, right? So now follow along if you can. So typical hotel with meals, at least a good breakfast meal, $95 a night. So 100 students per class, maybe $9,500. Get a textbook bought at normal prices, $20 to $40 based on Amazon and Barnes and Noble price. Times however many classes, 5 at most, $200. So a total of $1,180 per student for 4 years. See how less expensive that is? It should not be as expensive as it is now. If you can't follow, we take a typical night lodging at a hotel in the Midwest prices. Times that by how many a typical college class size is, get a normal price of a textbook either off of Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Then you take the hotel night price, book price total for one student, times 4 years, and you get a very affordable education. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. How come political parties cannot think openly and clearly as that? Because what is college? You go there, you live there, get a meal, shower, plus your education. And so, yeah, I wanted to share a few bits of that with you. And what about protecting the widows and widowers and their children and also unwed mothers? I don't think we hear much about that, do we? Now this comes from the laws of Saint Stephen of Hungary. He was king of Hungary in the year 1000 AD. All possessions of the husband shall go to the wife and children, so they may be provided for the rest of their life. And the wife does not need to remarry, but if she does, she can take a nice set of clothes. Now let's update it from 1000 AD to year 2020, whatever. This will also go to protect any group of siblings if you have ever had to deal with getting the property given to you or seen it done and how siblings squabble about this and fighting wanting larger portions than what was given to them by their loved ones. This way no property can be stolen by another sibling or can be taken by the sibling in court. What was legally given to them is theirs and no one else's. Now, there are those who are unwed mothers who decided to have a sinful sexual relationship. If they are tossed out of the house and have no one to help them, or are shunned because of this sinful deed, yes, they have done wrong, but the mother should do great penance for it, but also take care of, and so too the child. This way, the mom does not go down an even more evil road of drugs or worse. If they have no education, education and trade shall be taught them. This way they can get work and get on their feet and provide for their child. If the man they created the child with is a just and good man, he should do the right thing and marry the woman who fathered the child. If he does not, then he shall be forced to pay child support to cover anything the child needs, including education expenses. I had someone from was North Carolina who didn't like that. Thought it was a little too strict. I thought it was strict, Christian, and straightforward to the point. Oh well. No, 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 no. Remember that up upheaval about the food crisis coming on about during what people was calling about COVID, the pandemic and everything, and things was getting scarce, and we saw people dumping the milk and destroying eggs and everything. During the swamp at the FDA or Federal Department of Agriculture. When food was seeming to be scarce during this pandemic of COVID 19, when eggs, flour, milk, chickens were being destroyed and punished the farmers who decided to sell directly to the people. All members of the FDA who allowed this to happen, who punished the farmers, should be sent to prison for life. Their actions were on par with Joseph Stalin and the Holodomor genocide in Ukraine, were by the authorities of the state to starve the people. We do need food checkers to make sure food is safe, but not at the expense of starving people. We must return to Christian ethics and principles to make sure this does not happen again. Oh, since there are Christian families from Ireland, Scotland, and other parts of Europe who want to try the food of their ancestors, traditional method of food preparation, fresh small scale delivery production should be allowed. And I want to get to this one, and I'll close it out here. Restoring the rule of law. For far too long in this country, there has been a two-tier justice system, if you want to call it a justice system. When the wealthy elites in Congress break the law, hardly anything is done to them. But when everyday citizens break the law, then the justice system works. It is time to restore the rule of law where law has no favorites. It looks the other way if someone is rich, famous, and of the elite class. Now, of course, there are special circumstances where the law can have mercy. If someone was truly hungry, it can be proven that the person had no work and no way to provide for themselves or family. and needed food, and no weapon was used to get said food or drink or things of war, then the law should show compassion and mercy to help those people get back on their feet. In other cases, the law should come down swiftly and harshly if crimes are done that met this, and no turning a blind eye even if the elite class did the crime, and the law would move heaven and earth if said elite would flee to track down the criminal and bring them to justice. It is time to end special privileges for the said few groups of people. That is how America became corrupt, even in the justice system. We would restore the office of bounty hunter, or, in the professional term, bail agency enforcer. This group of sworn law officials would be the best group of selected, trained, and educated people who are neither corrupt nor show any favoritism. They would have access to all police computers around the world and can freely go to any place in the world to track down and bring back criminals to the United States. This way, the family of the New Jersey State Trooper Werner Forster will get justice, and the killer, Joanne Chesimard, will be brought back to face trial and capital punishment for the murder of the state trooper. You can read more about it on our blog on the policy section. It's all worth your read. Please share the blog website, CatholicPartyForAmerica.wordpress.com. And that is all for today. Thank you, and God bless.